going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Facts Not Included. I'm your host, Peter Cabranes, and today, we're going to be talking about Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald, as I like to call it, because everybody in the movie seems to say it differently, or at least very German. For a British cast and for a British film, they say it very German. Grindelwald is how I see, how I hear a lot of the characters in this film talk about the main villain. But yes, the Fantastic Beasts movie, the cash grab that it was, has come out. J.K. Rowling has yet again ruined the love that people have for Harry Potter, because oh my god, it was a big mess. So I went to go see it with my girlfriend, and I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. You probably know that already. I'm big into everything else. Harry Potter wasn't the franchise for me. It wasn't the franchise that I love dearly and I talk about all the time. It was a franchise I was heavily involved in when the movies were coming out. I saw the first 2 or 3 in theaters. The 4th one did not see in theaters. The 5th one I might have. The rest I did not. I also didn't even watch them until like way after, not even like DVD. The last 3 I didn't even see when they came out on DVD or Blu-ray. I didn't wind up seeing them until like a couple of years down the line, and then watching them in one shot. But the first 3 to 5 movies, I basically either saw them in theaters or saw them when they came out on DVD or Blu-ray, like pretty much right after. So there's no big deal there. The books, though, I'm pretty sure I read the first Harry Potter book. Doubt I read any of the others, and I know for sure I tried to read Order of the Phoenix, the 5th book. I know for a fact I did that. But books 6, 7, books 2, 3, and 4, no care in the world to read them, even though I had them. Like, I had Goblet of Fire, I had Prisoner of Azkaban. Like, I just never cared to open them. These books were handed to me from a family member, and I just never cared to read them. Anyway, that being said, J.K. Rowling over the last couple of years has wanted to, bring back that nostalgia feeling, bring back that love and respect that she had once in this world when she was making Harry Potter. So, they turned that fan fiction nonsense into the Cursed Child, and which is not even written by her, so they're like, what the fuck's the point? Now it's apparently canon, and that doesn't make any sense, because apparently it changes so many things in the world, and I don't understand. But then they decide, you know what, we're going to make a movie that deals about a textbook that comes out, that the kids use, and it's dealt in the 20s, but it deals with Grindelwald, who gets apparently captured and stopped in like the late 40s. So why is this movie set in the 20s? If there's going to be 3 more movies, how are you going to jump from 1927 to all the way to 1945 or whatever? None of this makes any sense how this is going to work out. Crimes of Grindelwald makes me feel as if they didn't even try. They didn't even try with this movie. So, movie opens up, you have Grindelwald. He escapes. Wasn't he captured the last movie? Yeah, we don't care. We need to serve our story here, so we're going to have him escape. Also, Credence is alive now somehow. Like, he's the whole, like, main point of this movie. Like, everybody's trying to figure out what's his deal. But the only reason is because he's alive now, which I don't know how that makes any sense, because he was dead. And then also the other guy, I forget the guy, the character's name, the fat dude with the mustache. Apparently his memories were wiped, but now that doesn't matter because it was only his bad memories, and all his bad memories were nothing, and all of his memories that he had during the first movie were considered good memories, even though they got caught in some bad stuff. Like, none of it makes any sense. It is totally their way of rewriting the history so that they could tell this story for this second movie. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that you had to do it that way. You could have told the story with him still lost and maybe gaining those memories back. That would have been cool to see that. But they don't. There's no motives really for any of these characters. A lot of characters in these movies make no sense. And I'll get to that in a few. Something I want to talk about is the music. None of this. So the soundtrack or the themes are playing, and none of it really fits. If anything, they force you to believe what's going on with the music to make you feel what's going on screen. A great score does not make me do something. Star Wars, for instance, the original Harry Potter, for instance, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, whatever. A great score does not force me to feel what's going on screen. What it makes me do is absolutely nothing. If anything, it blends what I'm already feeling while seeing what's going on screen. It makes me do nothing but connect to me with what's going on screen. I don't want it to force me. Because I heard some reviewers talk about that. They were like, there are times that we'll watch something and it will just go, oh, you're supposed to be feeling this right now. And it wasn't something that I was feeling, but I have no choice now because the music is making me feel this way. Strange. Very strange. So, what I found interesting during this movie, and I mentioned this to my girlfriend, no Newt Scamander in this movie equals probably some of the same events are going to occur. There's no need for him in this series. Why is there a movie regarding this man? Is it because he just so happened to be there and all these things happened and he noticed them and he wrote a book about it? Ooh, who cares? Really? No Newt Scamander, totally movie is going to be the same. I don't understand. Anyway, and also it feels... I mentioned, if you know me, I mentioned this on social media the other day. J.K. Rowling, I love you. You're great. You brought us probably 7 of the greatest novels ever written, possibly, by one person. You were able to work with people. This is the key part. You were able to work with people that were able to take your stuff and adapt it into a screenplay. The important part there is that you didn't write those screenplays for Harry Potter 1 through 8. You didn't write those. You didn't touch those. What you did is you helped out. You contributed it. I can't even talk right now. You contributed to the process, but you weren't in charge of writing that screenplay. And the problem is that you're in charge of this screenplay and of the previous Fantastic Beasts movie, and it's clear. It's very clear because you are not a screenplay writer. You're not a screenwriter. You're not by any stretch of the imagination, because I feel for none of these characters in this movie. There's no development, and first of all, the screenplay, the script goes all over the place with the ideas and stories and flashbacks and pondering of this and that. It's not necessary. In a book, maybe, yes, maybe to tell a certain story in a book it might work, but this isn't a book. It's a movie about a book, well, a made-up book, but I don't feel like she should be taking charge of these movies anymore. Now, if she writes a treatment and then gives it to Clovis, who was in charge of writing the movies back in the day, then fine, be my guest. Let it be done that way, because there's no way she needs to be in charge of the movies going forward. She can't. She truly can't be. I'm not going to be able to deal with it. I won't even see the next one if she's involved as the main screenwriter. I can't do that because I don't care about I didn't care about the characters in this movie. Yeah, she does a really, really bad job at writing in this movie, which doesn't make any sense because she's one of the greatest writers of our generation. She's a storyteller. She's a writer. How is it that you cannot write a screenplay? Oh, wait, because screenplays are different than novels. They're just different. Theseus' character, don't care for. Why is he there? Lita, Lestrange. You have a Lestrange in this movie, and I don't care. She's involved in this weird baby swapping story that just doesn't work out, doesn't really make sense. You know, Yusuf Kama, the guy, the brother. What is this? What is this story that was probably thrown together in 5 days? I don't like it. I don't like it. It doesn't really make sense. Now, my biggest pet peeve in this movie is the film's editing. Because I noticed that right when the movie started, the shots that they used didn't make any sense. Why is there close-ups of these characters? My girlfriend first said it was because it was to show the point of view of maybe Newt, but then they were doing it onto Newt. So it's not really his point of view. Who thought of, like, I hope they didn't shoot it like that. I hope they didn't shoot it like that. I hope they shot it perfectly, and then someone zoomed in. Because if you are shooting like that naturally and zooming that far in, take that cinematography license away from you. You know, like, what is going on? Why? And then, okay, also the movie, there was a moment in this movie that really kind of sealed the deal for me, and the confusion of this movie, because the plot's all over the place. And it's hard to explain the plot. I guess the plot is, bad guy wants to make other people that are like him join the force in killing people or banning people that are not like them. You know, basically a Trump thing. I don't know if that's what's going on. I have no idea. Anyway, so the editing. There's a moment where Credence is in a room up on like the attic of a building, and I forget her face. The snake lady comes in and goes, you know, he's here. But randomly, boom, like they didn't. I didn't even hear that part. So that's why I'm confused. And then Grindelwald's on the roof, and it's like I didn't even know Grindelwald was looking for him. Like I was very confused. I didn't even know Grindelwald was looking for him at that point, or I had still looked. I don't know. I was very confused. I know I'm jumping all over the place with this review. It's only because I'm very frustrated by this movie. Nagini, useless character, completely useless character. She is a snake person. She's the snake that, you know, Voldemort's pet snake. What I don't understand is why did we need to have her in this movie? You take that part about her out of the movie, and she's a useless character altogether. She's useless even as the snake, but she's useless as the character without being a snake. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you took that whole backstory out, she's pointless. And she's even pointless within it, because she's not even a snake in the movie. Like, what? Use the power. I don't know. And then it's like, who cares? Like, why do I need to know that this snake was once a human? Why does that matter? Who cares? Really, who cares if that person was a snake before? It's very strange. I don't know. Queenie's motive makes no sense to me at all. If you watch the movie, the first movie, it's a very loving person. She falls in love with this fat guy. Yes, that is part of the trope in this movie. In that first movie, is that a very skinny, beautiful woman falls in love with a very chunky man. That is the trope they're going for. So don't yell at me. So there's that story, and, you know, whatever. She's magical. She's fantastic. She could read minds. And in the second movie, she's going bonkersly crazy, but she's still the same person. She's in love with him, and she's so in love that she forced him to love her even more. Love her even more, which is nuts. But that kind of falls into her character and whatnot. And then out of nowhere, knowing that her love is a man that is not of magic, even knowing that, she joins Grindelwald because whatever reason. Like, you can't even give me a reason for her to join him. She's so madly in love with him that she'll sacrifice that to join Grindelwald for what? For what? To bring peace to those that are magical and to kill those that aren't? Essentially killing him in the process, possibly? It doesn't work. It doesn't fit her character motive. I don't understand. I've also heard a couple of things. I've heard that Dumbledore, the whole, great casting, by the way. Um, for getting Jude Law in there, I love that. But I've heard a couple of things from Harry Potter people that Jude Law's Dumbledore, not Jude Law's, I'm sorry, that Dumbledore would not have a brother of credence unless maybe because the family or something is, because Dumbledore's like 100 and something years old at this point. And how does he have a brother that's like 20? It doesn't work. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, what? That doesn't work. It doesn't follow the story that you put in place. It doesn't work. If Dumbledore at this point is well over 100 years old, how did anyone in his family manage to have a kid at that point? I don't know. Maybe does magic, sex, and menopause and stuff work differently than it would for a Muggle or something? I don't know. Seems like J.K. Rowling doesn't care either. And also apparently I noticed some guy pointed out this the other day, and this made me this killed it for me. McGonagall is in this movie. How? Like, apparently she didn't start teaching until, like, the 50s, and now it's the 20s and she's teaching. It doesn't work. J.K. only did that to serve the fact that she wanted some diehard Potter fans that love McGonagall to get in there and go, oh my god, it's McGonagall. But it doesn't work. It doesn't even serve the story. She's mentioned only. She's not even in there to kick ass. Now, if she was in there to kick ass, and then she mentioned it, maybe it works out. But you're not even in there to kick ass, and this happens. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, yeah, I don't know. This movie is a big pile of mess. It's interesting because it's called Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. And there's barely any beasts, but I'll give you this. They do work in this movie. I'm not sure if they work more than they did in the first movie or whatnot. There are less beasts. I'll give you that. There are less beasts in this film. So it gives you the ability to focus your time and efforts on the ones that are shown. I forget the Niffler. I just call him Nibbler from like Futurama. But that guy's interesting because he's in this movie. Yeah, he's very beloved in the first one, so I understand why they would want them to have a Niffler or whatever it's called in the film. They made it very obvious that it was going to be a staple in this whole film. When they were like, "Oh, I'll take the Nifflers with me," like he left a note, and they focused on the note on screen. So it's very obvious that they wanted it to be a part of the film. Anyway, it magically steals that love potion. What was that thing? The bond, the blood pack that they made. Grindelwald and Dumbledore. I don't even understand that either. Because from what I know, if you make a pact with somebody, and this person's an evil killing machine, in a sense, you're still gonna keep that pact? Dumbledore, I don't understand. Why would you do that? It's not like you guys used to make love or anything like that, right? That's the thing I don't get. Is that the story had the opportunity to go deeper and further into Dumbledore's love and sex. I don't want to know his sex life. But it had the ability to go further into his love life with Grindelwald. Their relationship that we all are pretty much aware of was a thing. And you don't even touch it. The most they touch it is with, we were more than brothers. Or closer than brothers. Or whatever it was that the line was. That's as far as you're going to go with this? Make me feel for the fact that you don't want to fight him. Make me understand that it is much more than just saying, I can't because we swapped blood once. Maybe because you have this deep inner struggle with wanting to love him, and you can't anymore, and that's why I can't fight him, because I'm still in love with him. Something like that. Give me that rather than I can't because we swapped blood and it's in a tube. It's weird. It just doesn't feel like I should care at that point. So it's very strange. Big CGI monster at the end. It's expected. It's a big budget movie. It's to be expected. That doesn't bother me anymore these days. It's to be expected. But yeah, it just doesn't work really as a film that is in the world of Harry Potter. It doesn't work for me only because of the fact that, well, not only, but the story's bonkers, the editing was bonkers, everything was. I don't know if they rushed this movie. Is that what happened? Was there like a deadline and they're like, you have to finish this by Tuesday of last week? Like, what was going on? Like, who put this together? I don't know. Doesn't really mesh together as a cohesive film. It is an editing nightmare. The only thing I could see positively coming out of this film is the performance by Johnny Depp and Jude Law. And of course Eddie Redmayne, but that's not my point here. Eddie Redmayne, fantastic of course as always, but Jude Law and Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp makes me really feel for Grindelwald, understanding that he's a evil man, and I like that. It's really interesting. I like that. It's cool. I don't care about the other characters really in this movie. Tina, useless, pretty much in this film. And then like like I said, the new characters like the Lovegood, not Lovegood, Lestrange, and Theseus is the brother of Newt, and then the guy that plays who's the guy that had the Philosopher's Stone, the Sorcerer's Stone? I forget his name, but he also, like, why is that in the movie? No reason for him to be in the movie as well. You have nostalgia written all over this film, and the film is predicated on that nostalgia, and they go from there. Instead of there being a story with a solid background of characters to build off of and sprinkle some nostalgia in, it went a different route, and they focused on the nostalgia for this film to get you, to pull you left and right, and then told you a story from there. I didn't like that. That wasn't cool, guys. It really wasn't cool. And that's the problem with prequels. Prequels is you feel as if you need to serve those that once saw the property before. Star Wars did that with the prequels. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 try to grab things and create new things that we once thought were one thing, midichlorians, for instance, and I feel, and I'm very nervous, because this is the second movie in, and I feel like they're doing that with the Harry Potter franchise, and it's no one's fault other than J.K. Rowling, and it's because she's the writer here. She's writing the screenplay. She is getting help from others, but it's not the same like it used to be. I really do think you need to give Clovis the stuff back. Sit down with him. Really sit down with him. Let him go from there, but give him the idea first, and then see where he goes from it. I don't know. Or maybe that's what happened, and he messed up or something. I don't know. But from what we understand, J.K. Rowling is responsible for these films. It's her. It's on her. So, I don't know. But anyway, if you want to know my score out of 10, and I know we do this in every episode, my score out of 10, this film, as much as I said terrible and negative things about it, I don't like it as much as other people did. But when I did watch it, there were moments of entertainment. I'm not going to say this movie is a total garbage pile, but there were moments in this movie that made me feel like I was in the world of Harry Potter. Even though when they hit Hogwarts, I didn't feel like I was in Hogwarts. It was weird. I don't know. I did, actually. Sorry. I did feel like I was in Hogwarts. I don't know what to give this movie. I think right now, like on Rotten Tomatoes, it is sitting around. It is sitting at 40%. Ouch. It is sitting at 40%. And I told myself this the other day when I went to go see it. When I came out of the movie, I was like, oh, that's a really good movie. But now that I've sat down and pondered it and seen others review the movie, and I've understood other things about the universe that I didn't really know, because I'm not a Potterhead. I don't really know the universe as much. Now that I know more, I'm able to give a concrete review. And really understand what I saw. Because I came out, I wasn't like, oh, that's a great movie. I literally came out, she asked me, and she was like, did you like it? And I was like, yeah, well, it was good. Like, that was my answer. And I felt bad because I know this is something that she really likes and really loves, and I just didn't want to, ruin that moment. So, but it's not that good of a movie, to be honest. So I'm going to have to give it 5.5, if not 6 out of 10, for this movie. I don't know what they could have done better. Actually, I did say what they could have done better. But given what we have, I don't know what they really could have done. Maybe there's video on the chopping block that would have made this movie make more sense. It's just a plot nightmare. Things going all over the place, people that don't matter. Really, seriously, think about that. Characters that if you change their name or whatnot, something minor to them, they're completely and utterly useless. But it turns out that this movie made it seem like they were important. But they're not. The brother guy, the oh my god, what is his name? The comma guy. Completely unnecessary in that movie. Don't need him in there. But anyway, that's just me. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I kind of rushed this episode a little bit, only because I have to run and do some things. But anyway, it has been Facts Not Included. I hope you guys enjoy us on Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addict, and wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on an Android device, an iOS device, Windows 10, Mac, whatever it is that you guys are listening to us on. We really do appreciate it here from Facts Not Included. I'm not even joking. The guys are always asking, like, dude, what are our stats? Where are people listening to us on? And it's fascinating to find out where it is that you guys are checking us out on. So that's really, really great of you. Also, don't forget to check us out on Twitter, Facebook. We are on YouTube, of course, to get those episodes, another place to get our episodes. But really, really check us out on Facebook and Twitter. That is where our news is really coming from. And like I said, down the line, not too far from now, a website will be born out of the Facts Not Included here. Productions, I guess you want to call us. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. And just always make sure you're telling your friends about us. Really, really, we want there to be a community. We want you guys talking to each other on Facebook and Twitter about us. Let us know. We want to have discussions and all these things, and so we can have really cool episodes for you guys to talk about. So, and if this is the last episode you listen to before Thanksgiving break, and if you do live in the United States, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. There will be an episode this Friday, though, for Facts Not Included, Tangent Friday. I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about. It's probably going to be related to Thanksgiving, but maybe not. We'll see. I know we have a lot of fans around the world, so I'm not too sure if they want to listen to it, but maybe they do. Maybe they want to hear a little bit about the consumerism that is the capitalist society here in this country. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you guys enjoy your week. Goodbye.